What's up, weirdo? Shade Tree Surgeon here, and today we've got a couple of pretty huge announcements. One of them has to do with that gray Goldwing sitting right there. That's actually a 98. A little bit more on that in a second. Obviously, you can see him out here at Forgotten Angels with a Goldwing, which is not out of the ordinary. We got some really huge stuff coming, not only for Forgotten Angels, but also for Brapstar and also for all of you. So if you guys have been following the channel for a long time, you remember the first iteration of Brapstar Garage, which is no more. Rest in pepperonis. Do some shady stuff by our old landlord, but that's old news. On to new news. In between now and then, a lot of people have commented down below, why don't you build a Brapstar Garage at Forgotten Angels? Now, I never responded to that, but don't think I didn't think about it. And eventually, David actually approached me about Brapstar and Forgotten Angels teaming up. We've been doing stuff together for so long. I wouldn't call it working together because a lot of this doesn't feel like work. It feels like doing the right thing. Now for me, why not? We've already been working together this long. We've already changed a lot of lives. I feel like we've made a huge impact in the world. When I say we, I mean we, as in you, myself, David, Cindy, everybody out here who tries to make a difference and does make a difference in the lives of the people that society has forgotten and manages to have a good time riding motorcycles while they're at it. So here it is. This is the official partnership, although is anything ever really official with me? I try to be as unofficial as possible, but the official partnership between Brapstar and Forgotten Angels. And you know, a lot of you guys just assumed it was that way already, but now it really is. And we're kicking that off with a pretty big deal. And we're doing another fundraiser that's going to take Forgotten Angels to the next level. That's going to be able to spread what we're doing here farther and better than we've ever done it before. And it's starting right now with that Goldwing and $250,000. More on that in a second.
The Great Leveler, that hoary, shuffling beast called Time. It waits for no man. Righteous causes and pitched battles, white-hot hatred and petty desires, love, lust, fear, anger, and all the grief and joy that make up the incalculably vast universe that is the human memory. Every man an island, afloat in an inky black void from which terrors spring forth unbidden, and lost love grows ever more rotten beneath an off-polished veneer. Our fondest memories devolve into grotesqueries, casting long shadows and wearing fools' motley as they prance through the funhouse mirrors of time. The callus that grows over our mind's eye, insidious and inexorable. Dare any of us slough it off and gaze upon the true nature of our internal fortress of solitude, to strip away those great and powerful stones and witness the decaying and precarious lattice work atop which we've placed our ego. Such is my dilemma. Years spent railing against pretenders, charlatans, and outright lies of so-called scramblers, decrying their fans as rubes and hipsters, eager for a chance to flaunt a smattering of window dressing in order to look the part of an off-road adventurer while caring nothing for the sheep in wolves' clothing their machine really was. The Great Leveler, that hoary, shuffling beast called Time. It waits for no man. The hipsters, rubes, and pretenders marched through time. Neophytes no longer, unless unfairly scrutinized under mine own time-warped lens. They demanded more. They received it. The machines obeyed their masters' ever-changing whims as they must. The glitz, the flash, the glamour, all gave way to substance and ability. The dressed-up scrambler of yesteryear, now scorned by the very people who loved it, decried in words that taste all too familiar, but now leave a bitterness in mine own mouth not noticed before. Have I stood still as time moved? Why this sudden yearning for a simpler machine, one that did no more and no less than move your heart, the same one I spit upon and savagely attacked for not doing more? Why was love not enough? Why is it all I crave now? Why has technical ability and off-road prowess become cumbersome impediments, blocking the view of what truly matters? A motorcycle that makes me feel something, anything, everything. Am I peering at my own past through the cracked and warped mirror of time? Have I stood still long enough that time's wheel has switched my place with those I used to belittle? Or was I simply just bitterly jealous all along of those who could love a motorcycle merely by looking at it? I cannot ever truly know this thing. Craven that I am, I never plan on knuckling away the scrim on my mind's eye to behold the truth. What I do know is that I have an itch that cannot be denied, and whether it's just my contrarian nature once again bucking its saddle or truly an honest whimsy for trends gone by, I am going to scratch that itch.
Well, before we get back to the gray Goldwing, once again, we're straddling the dung beetle. Can a Goldwing be an adventure bike? Well, you know what I always say. All you gotta do to make a bike an adventure bike is take it on an adventure. What yon foul wind blows? 'Tis the mighty dung beetle on another adventure. Well, not much of an adventure, just back to the garage.
Oh, if we turn the dung beetle into an adventure bike, it's almost in a class of its own. I mean, yeah, there's a few four-cylinder adventure bikes out there, but how many opposed four-cylinder adventure bikes are there? I will tell you, it's a little odd to be in a Goldwing and feel this much wind in my face, although very refreshing at the same time.
Jacking up a bike this big, right at the very edge with this Harbor Freight lift is supposed to be able to handle, always makes me a little bit nervous. Fortune favors the bold, huh? Of course, this is my Harbor Freight lift that I actually repaired. This one was in storage and I had gotten a new one, but this is the one with the aftermarket pump on it, and it actually works a lot better. Oh, now that I got it up on the lift, I'm just going over the regular stuff, checking brake pad life, oil, you know, making sure there's no nails in the tire, just the random stuff you would do on a bike when you're first looking it over. I've noticed a couple things. One, we definitely have a leak in the differential here in the rear in the final drive. No big deal, we'll address that. Two, I thought it was because of the knobbies, because this thing developed some head shake above 70 miles an hour. Everything else seems fine, but I checked the PSI in the front forks and it's literally at 0. So that can, it's got progressives in the rear, so someone swapped out the air shocks in the rear already for regular shocks, but a little harder to do in the front, and there's no PSI in these at all. So I'll try putting a little PSI in those and we'll see if that clears up the head shake. These old Goldwings, especially the GL 1100 and 1200 platform, are especially super sensitive to fork pressure in the front and the rear if you haven't replaced it with conventional shocks in the rear, and to tire pressure. You wouldn't believe some of these bikes that people are like, it's got a death wobble, it's insane, you can barely ride it, and it's literally just being a few PSI off in the tires. They're amazing bikes, trust me, and they're always a pretty sure bet as long as they're working right, but they can be very sensitive in certain scenarios. Tire pressure and fork pressure is definitely one of them. Ooh, yeah, that went right up. Like I said, there was nothing in there. A little bit out of that. Just checked the tire pressure too, and it was low both front and rear. I can't guarantee that's what's causing the wobble because, like I said, Goldwings are sensitive, and it might just be these knobby tires, which are part of why it makes it so cool. I know it's just tires, but dude, when this thing came to us, by the way, thank you very much, my friend who donated this to Forgotten Angels. This is the very first joint Forgotten Angels Brapstar project here. So huge ups to my man for helping make that happen and helping spread the word and giving us the newly christened Dung Beetle. It's the knobbies that make it cool. So if that's what's causing the shake, I guess when I go on this adventure, we're just gonna keep it under 70 miles an hour. Whatever is leaking down here, it's been leaking for a while. So we're gonna clean this off a little, see if we can't spot where it's leaking from, but however long it's been leaking, like I said, it's been doing that for a minute because this thing is coated. Something tells me this is not a new occurrence down here. Now, you want to be really careful when taking these fill thing out of the rear differential on Goldwings. Same one for a lot of different Hondas. Be very careful with it. It doesn't get tightened up very hard when you put it back on. Ask me how I know. So now that we have it cleaned off, I should be able to, you would imagine, put more gear oil in it and then see where the leak is coming from. We'll just have to ram this sucker around a little bit, check it when we get it back on the lift, see if we can't see where that's coming from. Now, I also felt like it was running just a little bit hot on the way home, and if you didn't know, on Goldwings, this ain't the gas tank. The gas tank is under the seat. This is a handy dandy little storage compartment. And it's also, on these 1100s anyway, where you add in your coolant. I would definitely say it needs some coolant.
Didn't need much, but doesn't hold much either. Next up, well, I mean, I got other stuff to do, but next up, can't be an adventure bike without an adventure box, right? Now let's see how much of an idiot I look trying to put on this knockoff aluminum adventure box on a Goldwing. Probably a pretty big idiot. Theoretically, it shouldn't be hard. Theoretically. Bought these things before, it's the same one that's on Shay's bike. You can pay $800 for a Gibby or whatever they are, but it's really just an aluminum box, ain't it? Of course, I might eat those words later, we'll see. That nice of them. They give you some special little tools to install it with, just like IKEA. Well, as per usual, I think I'm just gonna have to make something. That's okay though, I don't mind doing that. Got some flat stock that'll work perfectly here. Safety third. All right, this year safety second. I don't want this just sitting metal on metal here. I want to have something hard, but still with a little bit of give to tighten it up in between it. So I've got this old CE armor that I'm going to cut a couple squares out of. I think that'll work just fine. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, to keep it, because if it's just metal on metal and it's tightened down, there's nothing on there. I feel like even if it's super tight, it might still be able to slide around. Something tough, but with a little bit of give in between it, ought to keep it from moving. I say, in my head, hopefully. It actually looks like this is going to work all right. As always, I'm of course replacing the butter bolts that they send us with my own hardware. One thing you always want to avoid with these knockoff products, these Chinese products, which is, you know, probably made in the factory across the street from the name brand stuff, they always just send you the worst freaking hardware with it. Well, next up, let's do something about these handlebars. What's funny is these ape hangers are actually at about the right height. They're just not really what I'm looking for. But we have a solution. Thanks again to the good folks over at Rocks Risers for coming to the rescue. No, that is not a sponsorship. I bought and paid for these. I've never actually even talked to the guys at Rocks, but they make an awesome product. So these are 7/8 down at the bottom, and then they can be either 7/8 up top or 1 1/8 for fat bars, which is what those pro tapers are. And they sell them in a 5-inch length, which should give me the rise I need. Pretty much about the same rise as the ape hangers that are on there, but with a lot more stiffness. I run Rocks Risers on all of my dirt bikes and several other bikes as well, man. They make a great, it's a simple product, but it's a great product. Now comes something neat. I've never actually taken the controls off a Goldwing before. How hard could it be, he says. Okay, it just pulls off. All right. Well, there we go. Since this slides off, I'm gonna have to wait to get the handlebars off to actually pull it off. Go ahead and pull the other side off and we'll get this switched over. Plug these back in, he says to himself. Something I did not anticipate is the fact that these old Honda clutch perches are single bolts. They slide on and off. And these pro tapers have knurling on them, so stuff doesn't slide off. If you didn't know what knurling is, I only found out recently, but it actually makes the diameter a little bit larger. I'm having a hell of a time getting this past this. Alright boys, there's only one thing to do. Let's see how it rides. Hopefully that putting some air in the shocks, because there was none, and the proper air pressure in the tires makes it handle a little better at highway speeds. The ultimate hipster dad bike, because the word hipster is so outdated now, it doesn't even mean anything anymore. It's definitely a dad term. It's coming together. Determined to do nothing on this build that actually improves its off-road ability besides the knobbies that it came with, which is, of course,
the hipster way. All right, let's see how I like it with these pro tapers on it. Gotta love it with the pro tapers on because, come on, that's what makes it look like an off-road bike, you know, and this is what makes it look like an ADV bike. And, you know, it's all about the looks, not about the actual performance. Right?
The mighty dung beetle approaches its final form. No, all jokes aside about doing absolutely nothing to improve the performance of the bike off-road, these Pro Taper handlebars with these risers do feel a lot better. You just feel like everything's a lot more stiff and you're in a lot more control. Whether it does anything for its actual off-road abilities remains to be seen, which, I don't know, part of me hopes it doesn't, because that's the entire point, isn't it? And, you know, in before everyone says, have you seen those Honduras? Have you seen the guys who took the Goldwings off-road off of motocross shows? Dude, everybody who owns a Goldwing and is on the internet has seen that video. Trust me. It was a really cool video. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was really awesome, but that's not what I'm trying to do. A, I'm sorry. I'm not just trying to take this off any sweet jumps. And two, I'm not trying to destroy the bike. I want to actually complete the trip I'm going to take it on. I just want to complete it on a bike that has absolutely zero done to it to actually improve its off-road ability, and everything done to it is pretty much just superficial, because isn't that the ultimate hipster dad bike build? Like I said, I don't want to actually destroy the bike. I want to complete this journey successfully, and having done the MADBR on my Sportster build, which arguably was equipped way better to go off-road than this is going to be, I think I could do it. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm going to shoot for the Smoky Mountain 500 on the ultimate hipster dad bike build. The S-tier build, the merging of two. Is there something above S-tier? I don't even know. If there is, that's where this Goldwing lives, okay? Is this how the dads test their scrambler builds? Just by riding through whatever first random grass field they can find? Okay. Do I have enough ground clearance to get off this without smashing my oil filter open? Ooh, I do. I guess I might have to take like one or two actual concessions to giving it a little more off-road ability, and one of those would definitely be a guard for the oil filter down there. Trust me, I'm very loath to do anything that gives it any real ability off-road. That's kind of defeating the purpose, isn't it? And what is the purpose, you might ask? Why do such a thing? Well, to raise awareness for Forgotten Angels, of course, and at the same time, have a good time. You guys know I love being ridiculous and I love doing stupid stuff. Hey, if I can do stupid stuff and raise awareness for Forgotten Angels at the same time, you know, you might as well get two birds stoned at once, right? Dude, this thing rips, all right? All right. We got all your You Meet the Worst People on a Honda t-shirts to pick up and start sending out. Very fitting, considering the bike I'm riding around right now. You meet the worst people on a Honda, and baby, we are bad people doing good things. I don't know if this is a good thing I'm doing with this bike or not, so maybe I'm just a bad person. Only time will tell. Or maybe time will never tell, and I'll get away with it forever.
And speaking of You Meet the Worst People on a Honda shirt, make sure you go show Shay Lisi some love, and of course, the marvelous, mysterious Maria Mew and her monster trucks, because these girls are packing up your orders today, along with a couple others that are coming to help out later. Make sure you go show them some love. They're actually going live on YouTube later while they're packing up the orders. Pull out one of them shirts so they can see them. I haven't even seen one in person yet. Dude, you know what? You do meet the worst people on a Honda. Oh, I love how the front came out. That looks awesome. Please don't sue us, Honda. Anyway, make sure you go to Shay Lisi's. I don't know if she's going to do it on her YouTube or Instagram. Just keep an eye on both and see which one comes up. Also, if you're watching this now, don't forget to give me some more tips on what the most useless hipster motorcycle mods are to make to the Goldwing. I'm talking stuff that is absolutely useless, nothing that actually makes it better or makes it perform better off-road. Superficial only. And that brings us back to this great. No, you're good. David, you could be in the shot. You're part of this, man. Ain't no story over here. David and Shep are part of the mission. Part of the mission, they are. David and Cindy are the mission. Anyway, that brings us back to this gray Goldwing, which in 2 weeks is going to be one of your Goldwings. Goldwings, plural, Goldwing. They seem to breed. Whenever you have one vintage Goldwing, well, is 1998 vintage? I don't even know. That didn't change them for freaking damn near 13 years, but Anyway, that's going to belong to one of you in 2 weeks.
You know, it never fails to hurt my feelings just a little bit because we've given away so many gold wings for charity at this point. It never fails to hurt my feelings just a little bit that pretty much all the gold wings that we've given away for charity are nicer than my own personal gold wing. This one definitely included. In 1998, got a couple little weird things on it, as most gold wings do, namely the Rockford Fosgate big ass speakers on the back and the controller down there, but you're going to be able to jam out right there with the Harley boys, that's for sure. Rap Star Garage, Forgotten Angels, teaming up. We already were teamed up. It's not like we weren't teamed up before. We've already been doing this together. I'll tell you, Forgotten Angels has absolutely changed my life, just like it's changed a lot of your lives. You guys at the campout already saw this, but that building right there, that yellow big building, that is going to be the next Rap Star Garage. It always weirds me out when I get on a 1500. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This is how they run with 2 carburetors. So this is going to be the first giveaway bike in a pretty big giveaway. We're going to be trying to give away a new motorcycle. Well, not a new motorcycle, because you guys know I love my vintage wings, but we're going to be trying to give away a motorcycle every 2 weeks, starting with this 1998 GL 1500. You guys who know me know that I've been very passionately involved with Forgotten Angels mission for the past few years, as have a lot of you. There's been hundreds, if not thousands in total of you who've made the trek down here to Florida, take part in the Forgotten Angels camp out. You've come here to see what I'm talking about, to see these young men, the tiny homes that have been built to them, and what we're trying to do. If you guys don't know, what Forgotten Angels mission is to help all those children, all those young men who have aged out of the foster care system. Now, here's the thing. Everyone knows that foster care is a problem. Everyone knows that children who've been taken away from their families, whether through tragedy or abuse, drug abuse, sexual abuse, just for whatever reason that they had to leave their families, unfortunately, a lot of those kids end up in scenarios where they're getting taken advantage of even worse. At least in the state of Florida, the government will pay people a stipend to take care of these kids, and they have to provide them basically nothing. So they end up sticking 4 kids in a room in a 3-bedroom house, receiving over $1,000 per child, and they just milk it like a cash cow until their 18th birthday. And on their 18th birthday, they get made homeless. They literally get given a garbage bag to put all their belongings in, and they get told to hit the frickin' road. Now, me talking about this is nothing new to you guys. You know, you guys know about this. You've been to the camp out. You know what we're trying to do here. You know that we're trying to spread this mission to other states. The goal is to eventually have Forgotten Angels in all 50 states. And so this is what we're building now, because trust me, it don't come for free. And the template that we're building with the way Forgotten Angels is here, with the campouts, with the garage to help traveling bikers, the entire way we have it set up, that's the template that we want to see spread across the nation. And that's where I'm asking you for your help right now. What we're trying to do right now is absolutely unprecedented. In order to kickstart Forgotten Angels to the next level, we're trying to raise at least $1 million. Well, $1.25 million, because the grand prize winner, after this is all said and done, is going to get a house. That's why we're calling this one Home for the Holidays. You know, I think it's pretty fitting that the grand prize winner gets a home, because that's what we're about here. We're about giving people homes, about giving people not their second chance, because these young men never got a first chance. That's what we're talking about, first chances here. A grand prize winner, after this is all said and done, is going to get a house. Home for the Holidays, baby. And if you don't want a house, well, then you're going to get $250,000. You tell me which one you want. But before then, in 2 weeks, someone's going to get this gold wing. It feels good. It feels good to officially team up with Forgotten Angels. When I say officially team up, that doesn't mean I'm taking a check. That's not what I'm talking about. We've just made it official. And the official starting team of everyone who's going to help is myself, Blockhead, Her Two Wheels, Shay Lisi, of course, and my man, Spite's Corner. We're all teaming up to try to make the world a little bit better place. One of the things that used to freak me out all the time is how I never thought I could make a difference in the world. What the hell could I ever do to make a change? And it really used to mess with me a lot. What David and Cindy have showed me through Forgotten Angels is that I can, we can, you can. Because even a small donation makes a gigantic difference in these young men's lives. They come here with nothing. Right here, a lot of you have seen that sign. Welcome home. That's the difference. Having a community to rely on, having people they can go to. These kids' families, they abandoned them. Then the families that were supposed to be taking care of them after that, they abandoned them too. Well, guess what? You don't have to stick with the family you were given. You can choose your family. And that's what I feel like when I look at everyone out there at these campouts, everyone who comes to this property and camps out and donates money. That's your biker family. And I know that might sound a little cheesy to some of you, the whole biker family thing, but guess what? We've proven it true here. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said, I finally found my tribe. I finally found something I can believe in and a place where I can belong. Well, let me tell you what, man, I might have called it cheesy too. Not too long ago, but now it doesn't feel so cheesy anymore, does it? Now it really feels like something that can change the world. And you know, it's not changing everything in the world, but we can change our little part of it, can't we?
Yeah, I'm looking at you. It stands to reason that I'm looking at someone I'm gonna meet pretty soon, because, you know, we always offer that we'll fly you down, you can ride the thing home, or we'll drop it off to you, whatever you want. But people ask me all the time, isn't it weird bringing people down who you've never met before? And I tell them, no, it's not. Because guess what? These are people who, they ride motorcycles. First off, they like bike. Number two, they're the kind of people who are willing to take an adventure. They're risk takers, my favorite kind of people. And number three, they're the kind of person who would donate money to charity. They would take something out of their lives and make a sacrifice in order to make somebody else's life a little bit better. So no, I'm not afraid of meeting random people off the internet, because anyone out there knows, like, the biker thing is just a little bit different. The motorcycle thing is just a little bit different. When you go to biker events and campouts, this campout, when you go there and you meet people, you have this Venn diagram that intersects where you learn something about them, and all of a sudden you realize how much you have in common and how amazing it is. It ain't like these other internet communities. We're just a little bit different here. And that's the world that we're bringing these young men into as well, because guess what? You could tell this story anywhere and people would absolutely be heartbroken by it. But I know that you guys, all you guys out there, you guys who are missing something, who have found what you're looking for in these motorcycle communities, you guys understand what it's like to not have a safety network more than anybody else, and what it means to find that in this community. And that, I know that sounds cheesy, I know it does, but it's so true. And if you're watching this right now and you've been to the campouts, you've even experienced it. So yes, I'm asking you to join us in trying to make this world a better place. I'm asking you to help spread the message. I'm asking you to help change the world. We can make Forgotten Angels so much bigger than it is now, and we can change so many more lives, and we can do it together. So who's gonna win that gold wing? Got the link down below. Make sure you hit that up. If you can donate, please do. It's much appreciated. And if you can't, don't stretch yourself thin, because that's not what we're asking you to do. We only want you to help if you have the extra to do so, because anybody can help just by sharing the video, sharing the message, or just by telling one single other person about Forgotten Angels. That's gonna about do it for this one, y'all. Until next time, keep it weird.
Shade Tree Army, riding bikes, doing crimes all the time. These white line raiders will do what's right, even when society shade and tree ain't gonna ask permission. Do whatever it takes to complete the mission. Start, join our journey, feel the wind in your face. Start, hell-bent for adventure at a breakneck pace. Start, blazing trails, let's seize the day. We'll do it our own way. We're here to stay. Forgotten angels, see the light, saving lives all the time. Chaotic good's the ultimate weapon. Prop star will win the fight, make it right, show them right. Shade ain't gonna ask permission. Do whatever it takes to complete the mission. Star, we own the streets, stay out of the way. Star, try to stop us and there'll be hell to pay. Star, fighting hard for a better way. Can't lose, we'll win the day. We're here to stay. Brapstar is a growing horde of unwashed heathens, mutant bikers, and undiscovered cryptids who have joined forces to fight for what's right. Chaotic good reigns supreme in a world where only those who live outside society's bounds can save the ones